everybody. This is the first episode of the Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide podcast, the Nedscast, like we're calling it. This is Kirk speaking.
And I'm Jacob, known from the Drake and Josh podcast.
That's right. So in the same vein, but different. Geared, I think, to a younger audience, yeah? This show?
Probably a little bit, because it's geared towards middle schoolers, so.
There was absolutely overlap, but...
yeah, for sure, but it's not Dan Schneider.
It's not Dan Schneider, that's true.
It's not Schneider. And I think it's definitely a different form of comedy.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah,
it's much more...
It's more chaotic.
It's for sure chaotic. It's kind of... it's been years.
Yeah, I haven't
since I watched the whole episode of this show. I
hadn't watched it since high school at all. Like I haven't seen anything since we used to count stingers in high school of this of the episodes.
It was over 100, right? Or
it was something like that. It was a
between
lot.
50 and 100.
For a mini-sode.
Sure, at least for 10 minutes. Yeah. I mean the audio editor.
Yeah.
Hats off to them every time.
Honestly, yeah, they had quite the sound bank.
So one of the first notes I have here is that damn, they have high pitched voices.
Yeah, their voices are all incredibly high in the I guess in the first season. I don't remember this as well as like Drake and Josh or like some of the other shows, to where I don't know when the progression happens. You know?
I mean, I watched it a lot. I'm with you.
Are their voices always like this? Because I remember their voices being deeper than this.
Maybe because you and I also had higher pitched voices when we were watching this show.
It's possible, yeah.
Normal. It just seemed normal.
But also an interesting thing about this show, kind of mentioned a little bit, is that each episode is broken into 2 minisodes. So they're basically 2 different plot lines. So I figured we would talk about the first one, rate it, and then talk about the second one and rate it.
That sounds like a good idea. I think that's the good.
Okay.
I think that'll be the format there.
So yeah, my first note is weird intro shaky cam. Like the very first shot of the school is like a shaky cam. Like I don't remember that ever happening.
No. There's a lot of B-roll like that they use.
Yeah, they show the exterior of the school a lot, but that was a real weird shot to start the episode on.
Yeah, James K. Polk Middle School, right?
Yeah. And it starts off. Oh yeah, what were you saying?
I was gonna say, do they ever address what state they're in?
I don't think so, but I want to say that they're somewhere in like Middle America, is what it seems like.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
You know, like they're in like some mid-sized city suburb, in like Oklahoma
or Indiana.
Yeah, hell yeah. Maybe they're in Tulsa.
No one has an accent though.
Not a single accent. No, everybody has like. I don't even know well, I guess everything is an accent. I don't know what you'd call it, though. It's just like an American accent. But yeah, it starts off with the kid with the massive fucking backpack.
Yeah, how do you overfill a backpack that much on day one?
I guess just bringing stuff to put in your locker.
Binders, folders,
yeah,
notebooks. You don't have any textbooks. You don't have textbooks. It's day one.
Oh, I guess it's not the same thing as like in college where you might.
No, you don't buy your textbooks ahead of time in middle school.
No, you get them, I guess, assigned in class.
Though maybe in a private school that might be what they do.
But yeah, he's got like a massive like camping backpack, so he's got all his supplies in there. I assume he has like some sort of sweet locker shelf. It
probably weighs as much as he did. He was a little guy.
He was small as fuck.
But the backpack takes him out.
Yeah, it did. And I think that's the first ever what's it called, like tip. School survival guide tip is don't overstuff. It really
does
right?
start up. It does start up almost immediately with a tip. There's usually an intro tip, I think. I said there's usually an intro tip. Usually episodes, I think, if I remember correctly. This will bear out as we watch more episodes, I guess. But
I guess we'll figure it out.
They usually start out with a tip, I think, from what I remember.
Yeah, they kind of rapid fire tips, don't they?
Like right off the bat.
Yeah, they just start hitting you with random tips. Like they hit you with the don't get a haircut if it's less than 2 weeks before school starting.
That's like a tip you'd give a 25-year-old man almost. But I feel like, most kids I think get haircuts when their parents want them to get a haircut, right? Like most middle schools? I guess it
depends. I think in middle school you start to get more freedom with that.
That's fair. That's a good point.
In middle school is when I started growing my hair out. So like my parents were just like, fuck it.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, that's the first time they show Coconut Head. They intro him straight away.
He's just the butt of a joke from day one.
He is. They never change his haircut. That's a joke from the very first episode, and then they just keep it. They're like, he's the guy.
Yeah. There's a couple characters actually. This is like they show you a lot of new characters right off the bat with this first episode.
Yeah, they do. They show the bully.
Lisa Zima, the bully.
Is Crabgrass in the first one? I know she's in the second ep.
Oh shit! No, I was right. Lisa Zima's in the second episode. That's right.
Yeah.
And Susie Crabgrass also gets introduced in the second episode.
Yeah, I know she's in the second for sure. I don't remember her in the first.
Mose has no girlfriends and doesn't even like talk to another girl in the first episode.
Yeah, that's sure. It's like a big plot line in both of these
100%.
Is she's like, I don't have any fucking girlfriends.
She doesn't relate to girls.
Yeah, at all for whatever reason. And Cookie's wearing a big fuck off coat.
It's a puffy coat. It's orange. Sometimes when it's convenient for physical comedy, it restricts his movement. Other times he seems able to get around and move his arms.
Yeah. I don't know why he would think that was a thing to wear, but I guess he thought that like chicks were going to dig it.
So that's what made me actually think about what state are they in, because it could be anywhere between 70 and like 100 degrees in September in America.
Yeah, because it's the very first day of school, so it's probably like August, right?
I think Ned says September's still summer.
Oh, he says it's September? Oh, that's a late start.
Right? So maybe that'll be a hint as to what state they're in.
It could. I mean, we'd have to look it up like for that time period though, because it changes constantly.
Yeah, true. I don't know what year this is. I don't remember.
I have no idea. Actually, I have the IMDb pulled up.
Okay.
2004.
At least one of us should. Oh,
2004,
shit.
Yeah.
The year College Dropout came out.
Fuck yeah. This was in a similar vein.
Right. School spirit.
Exactly. So what's your next note?
So I was counting how many times they said heat stroke. It only ended up being 2 times, but that is a bit because Ned says you're gonna get heat stroke, and then Mose says you're gonna get heat stroke, but no one else said it after that. But he does get heat stroke 2 or 3 times throughout the episode.
Yeah, he really
because of the jacket.
He's just fucking killing himself in that thing.
It's nuts. Also, Ned says the middle school system will separate you from your best friends.
Which, I mean, I guess, but there's so much, like, I feel like there's so much, like, time in middle school, like, between classes and, like, at lunch and shit that, you know, you could find your friends.
That time is where 90% of this show takes place.
Exactly. So they shouldn't worry about it. I didn't understand. Actually, I took note of it. I don't understand why they wanted to be in her elective class so fucking bad. Like,
they're clingy.
Yeah, but they already had the class they already were in the class together, like the 2 of them. So like that should be enough.
Not all 3 of them though.
That should be enough though. If you have one friend in a class, you're good. You're Gucci, you know?
They wanted it all. They got greedy and then they got nothing.
They did get greedy. They got so greedy. Cuz like they're trying to switch classes. This whole episode they're trying to switch classes.
Yeah, so Mose signs up intentionally for not art class. She signs up for what she says is a cooking class.
Yeah.
And so they're like, what the fuck? I thought we were friends forever. And so then we get basically one thing leads to another. Mose walks away. Ned goes, Cookie, get us into that cooking class. And we get the first cookie hacker sequence.
Yeah.
Of the
He's
series.
got this sweet, like, tiny little mouse that has, like, a finger slot in it.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And it's, like, hooked up inside of him somehow.
It's like the gun that, like, comes out of, like, Robert De Niro's sleeve.
Yeah.
But it's a mouse.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
He's got the glasses
it's on
it's
on a desk drawer slider. Yeah, my note for that is just Cookie is a cyborg.
He's a cyborg. And that CGI was pretty dope.
What, the like hacking like simulation that he's seeing in his glasses?
Yeah, it's very early 2000s hacking sequence.
Yeah, it was dope.
Ned's like, there's no time. It's like there's always a time crunch with those.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of sweating.
There's always a lot of like
intense music.
green number fonts and stuff.
Everything's green and black.
Yeah, because it's all just data.
And so they get into the cooking class vis-a-vis that, and then Mose fucking gets them, and she's like, ha ha, I was lying to you. I didn't actually sign up for a cooking class. She signed up for a secret class that the second cookie hacking sequence occurs.
Yeah, I think that's is that after they're at the lunch table together? Because they do have a lunch scene. I took some notes on the lunch scene.
Okay, go over that because I didn't.
So my first note is that they all had hot dogs, and they all had sides of salad, except Ned had chips, and and he had an orange juice with it. So it was just kind of a weird food combo for me. I just feel like it was kind of strange.
What else are you gonna have on day one of school?
I don't know. It's just it threw me off because of the shitty salad with the hot dog. They all kind of looked sad. Cookie couldn't eat his hot dog.
That's school food for you.
That's where they by the way, where he said that they were in cooking class, where he spoiled it, and she was like, bitch, that ain't right.
That's right.
They were like, fuck. It was at the lunch table. And also she is in what's her name? Lisa Zima? Is that what you said her name was? She is in the first episode, because she's behind them at the lunch table.
Yes,
and that's
and also I think in the hallway she's shown briefly, and she inserts the thing in her nose that whatever that nasal spray.
Yeah, nasal spray. She's like a shadow.
She's the nerd. She's one of the nerds.
Yeah, at least right now.
That's true. Her character arc is to be seen.
Is epic.
It's epic. It's like Star Wars. I took a note that said, when Mose was describing how she wants girlfriends, a best girlfriend, she says that she wants someone to talk clothes, secrets, boys, and braiding hair, and apparently cooking with. And so that's what girls are into.
Right on. And Cookie says that he can braid hair.
That's right, and they say, don't admit that. And then the boys have a flashback, and they're hanging with or not a flashback, I guess a dream sequence sort of a thing.
Yeah, joined dream sequence.
Yeah, joined dream sequence, where they're hanging out with the bully. The bully sits next to them, and he's like, finally, someone I can talk to about cars, grease, and knocking heads. And
Fuck
he knocks their heads together.
Just talk about grease.
I thought that was the best one for sure. Are they talking about the country? Are they just talking about being greasy?
I figured they were talking about being greasy. I didn't think they were talking about the country, although that would be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I have them say, so I have a quote written down. I guess Mose at some point said the guide is wrong, and they fucking were taken aback by it.
Oh, fuck. Which part was that?
I think that's when she leaves the lunch table.
That's right.
Clearly,
but yeah, something wrong.
The part after that, though, when Cookie really starts to fucking die. Did you notice his pit stains? They're like a weird, like dyed, like sewed on texture. It's like not just water. It's like a different stain. Like they used like some sort of color dye.
They had like 6 different versions of that jacket, like in different stages of Cookie, like faint mode. That's great.
Yeah.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, his pit stains were insane.
Also, by the way, 6 minutes. So I was watching this originally on a stream on dailymotion.com. The image was inverted, like it was backwards, so like the words and shit on screen were backwards.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't great. So 6 minutes in, I bought it on Amazon again. I bought it earlier. And I got rid of it because I was like, fuck it, I'll just watch it on stream. No, it's worth it.
I ended up buying it on Amazon as well. So now
it's $12.99 for the whole series. The whole season 1, sorry.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you can't buy all of season 2, but we'll fucking deal with that when it comes to it.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
That's right. Yeah. Also, another quote, Ned says that no class is ever full, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that from.
He says it with such certainty.
Yeah, he's like, those bitches are lying. This class is never going to be full.
Just get a note from a teacher.
He says that it's at capacity. But that's the same shit.
You can jam another fucking body in that room.
Not if they're in a desk.
You don't need a desk. You can share a desk. You can
fair.
sit on the floor. How much do you want to be in this class?
I guess that's true. You got to really weigh it.
And by the way, the class we're referring to is shop class.
Yeah. So I guess shop class has a little bit more leniency with it.
I don't know. I mean, they didn't get into it. The boys didn't. They got into fucking home ec with the gay teacher.
Well, they did get into the class. They just swapped out. Remember?
Oh, they hated it. That's right.
They did the sequence again. They did and then Ned starts fucking tossing water at Cookie and it fucks him up.
Yes.
I thought I was gonna kill him. Being half cyborg and all.
I was gonna say, what is the logic behind when his shit short circuits? Because it short circuits when he's in phys ed when he's doing all the push-ups. But I think that's in the next episode. But episode 1 almost leads directly into episode 2, so we might be transitioning toward episode 2.
Yeah, I still want to rate it at the end
else.
Before we move on to the next one.
Yeah. You want to rate it now?
Well, let me see. Is that all we had? Well, no, there were more stuff to it.
Okay. I noticed that there was a sign in the wood shop room, and it said this department has worked 3 days without lost time accident.
Nice. That's classic to a working area. Although that sign is going to be incorrect because they immediately fuck up his hand. Well, I guess first he does his own hand thing where he smashes the like hammer against his finger, and then he's like, it's a fucking fake finger.
Yeah, he lost it in the birdhouse of 92.
Yeah, it should have been lost in like Nam or something.
Well, it was. I guess that's like, is that Desert Storm, 92?
92, yeah, it might have been Desert Storm.
The birdhouse of Desert Storm.
Yeah, that shot is also in the credit sequence at the beginning. The hammer smash thing.
So that's his. Is that his right hand? Because he gets his left hand. His left hand is the one that gets drilled through by Mose.
Yeah, at the very end, gets the fuck drilled out of it.
It's like a big drill bit too.
Yeah, it's massive. Because
it's like a half-inch fucking drill bit.
Yeah, and it's like a foot long, just sticking out both sides.
It's at least a half a foot long. It goes out like a few inches outside either side of his hand.
And they also, so he gets wheeled off to the ambulance, and so does Cookie, because Cookie's fucking dying.
Yeah, they have to cut the coat off of him. They have to use the jaws of death to cut his puffy coat off of him before he.
Oh yeah, because I wrote down a line from that. It's that. One of the paramedics is like, get the coat off, and the other guy's like, it's fused from the heat.
It's fused from the heat.
So I guess the plastic like melted.
Yeah.
So before that, they were in Mr. Monroe's class, who's the gay teacher that you were talking about.
Mr. Monroe.
And then he says that since they have too many boys in the class, they're the alt family.
Yeah.
The alternative family.
No, isn't that in the next episode?
No, it's in the very end of this one. It's because he passes out after they throw the baby at him. And he's like, it's a girl.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. I see. I fucked up because I have like a whole 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper full of notes on the first half. And then I have the second half, but there was some overlap at the beginning, and so that's what threw me off.
But that's pretty much it for that episode.
You don't see a lot of this type of. I feel like they handled the gay thing as well as they could have. Right?
Yeah. No, I think
it wasn't
so.
offensive.
I mean,
it wasn't like homophobic.
No, they didn't really do a whole lot with it. They were just like. They were like, they're the alternative family. That might have been a joke in and of itself.
That was a joke in and of itself. I laughed.
I mean, it's. I guess it's fair. It comes from the also gay teacher, so I guess.
Also,
he's cool with it.
Exactly. They really emphasize at the end: do not wear a puffy shirt on the first day of school. Is that a real problem that needs to be prevented? Like, are a lot of kids like, man, I would like if I had it my way.
You forget. You forget in the early 2000s, the late 90s, people were wearing massive and baggy clothes and like heavy things. They were wearing a lot of big coats, you know?
You're not like Matrix coats? Matrix / Columbine
Well, I wasn't
coats?
thinking Matrix coats. I was thinking coats like that, like winter coats, like puffy, like with fluffy hoods and stuff
Who
like
was
that.
wearing that? I know there's that one video with Drake where he's wearing the coat, but that's much later.
I feel like Missy Elliott and like
this
Puff
time
Daddy.
this era is when Drake is still Wheelchair Jimmy.
Yes, he is. He is still Wheelchair Jimmy in this. Maybe a Degrassi podcast will have to happen at some point. That's a long fucking series. That would last an eternity.
I wouldn't be the person to have. I guess if you want someone that's never watched it before, I'd be the guy.
Oh, you've never seen it before?
No. I never got into. I think it was. I don't know. I think it was geared at an older audience when it was coming out. I don't know.
No, because I watched it.
It's still coming
up.
Age. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. Maybe you were more mature than me. You could handle shit that was real.
I could handle the Canadian after school special show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you rate the first day ep?
Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of classic stuff in it. Yeah. I think some of the plot devices are kind of bizarre. The fluffy coat's classic, but at the same time, it's kind of an odd thing. It's like. It's just kind of weird, you know?
Yeah.
But this is a weird show. What is this? What is the skit? I know you use Quatlers on the Drake and Josh podcast. What are we gonna?
I don't know.
Are we going Weasels?
Yeah, we could do Weasels. Yeah, that'll work. How many Weasels?
Okay.
I assume we'll do out of 10.
I'll go ahead and give it 6.5 Weasels out of 10.
Right on. 6.5 Weasels out of 10. Yeah.
I think it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
But I think there's probably better episodes.
I'll probably give it I'll go with the 6 out of 10 Weasels. Mainly because some of the stuff I was like, why the fuck are they caring so much about her switching classes and shit like that? It was kind of strange.
Sure.
And the puffy jacket was a bold move on the first day. But yeah, I feel like it sits there pretty well, around a 6 out of 10, which is not bad.
All right. I'm glad we had a similar feeling.
Yeah.
So
I
guess
on to the next
minisode, episode
aka
2.
Lockers.
Minisode 2. On Amazon, they're both in the same thing, right? It's like episode and then / and the other episode.
Yeah.
So it's first day. That was the first episode. And Lockers is the second day.
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Yeah. 100%. I just looked it up. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
So we get the Weasels' first appearance in episode 2, almost right off the bat.
Yes. Yeah.
And
he first appears. So does Gordy later on.
Gordy's great, but the Weasel is sometimes a puppet, sometimes it's an actual ferret creature.
Yeah, it's definitely a ferret, right?
It's not. Yeah, it's a domesticated weasel, which fair.
Why didn't they just call it a ferret then?
That's not as funny of a word.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. So, is this episode the plot device is basically Toot Toot?
Yeah.
The Asian.
Fuck, I hated that.
Toot Toot, the Asian, who's he's got to be autistic a little bit, right?
He's there's something going on there because I don't what the fuck is up with him just saying toot toot and just blasting people with his ass.
He says toot toot, he turns around 180 degrees, a silent but deadly fart comes out of his ass, and then he walks away.
And it kills Ned every time.
The effect that they use is pretty great though. The wave that goes through the screen.
Oh yeah. The visual, that's cool.
So we further emphasize how Mose cannot relate to other girls.
Yeah, and also they're showing lockers in the beginning, and the first shot is of a goth bitch who has a crazy goth locker, and then they show Lisa who has a locker just full of medication and tissues. And I was thinking she for sure could have been a fucking drug dealer.
That's true.
Because there's so many pill bottles in that locker, and nothing is. I'm sure no one knows what's in there.
You think that if they ever did that reboot that was teased about but never happened for where they go to high school,
I don't know why that never happened.
That girl. Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a
why
thing.
the fuck?
I don't know. We'll talk about it later.
I didn't know that it was even brought up, but I don't know why they never continued in the first place.
Well, you got to move on to other things sometimes.
I mean, I guess, but it's such a short running series.
They got a lot of storylines in that short 3-season run, and like 3 seasons plus a movie or something.
That's true.
So Susie's locker, Susie Crabgrass, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's a great name. She rigs a boombox in her locker, her first iteration of her locker.
Yeah, she's Moses' locker rival in this.
She's Moses' arch enemy throughout the series, and this is the first time we see that sort of
that dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also get my next note is about the like faux ESPN coverage.
Yes.
That happens. So Cookie's storyline is that he has a locker that's really fucking far away from, I guess, everything.
His locker's on the edge of the universe. They zoom out to the universe. They say Moe's and Ned's locker, and then his locker, and checks out.
Yeah, and apparently his gym teacher just will not allow him to be any sort of late, and she will not take any excuses.
Gym is in 45 seconds. Okay, so I set a timer.
Yeah.
It was 35 seconds when the bell rings.
That's some bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where'd those 10 seconds go?
I don't know, but yeah, the sportscasters come out. He's running. Sweeney gets him the first time we see.
Yeah, he gets a speeding ticket.
It's Mr. Sweeney, right? It's not Dr. Sweeney. It's not Professor Sweeney.
I don't think he has a doctorate.
Dr. Professor Sweeney?
I think he's Mr. Sweeney. Yeah, unfortunately, he never got that.
But he's wearing a lab coat because he's the science teacher.
Yeah, and I feel his hair was real disheveled too in this episode. I think that's just because of how much passion he has behind speeding.
He's like supposed to be like a mad scientist.
Yeah.
So what? By the way, let's get this out of the way. What were you drinking?
Oh, right. I was drinking the Lunch Indian Pale Ale from Maine Beer Company in Freeport, Maine.
Ooh.
It's a bottle that Will got me last time he was over.
Shout out to Will.
Hadn't had it before. It's very good. Yeah, shout out to Will.
Haven't met him. So I got here the Pollywog. This is a limited release from Swamphead up here in Gainesville. It's a fruited Berliner style Weiss.
Very nice.
It's got some lime and soursop. So it's a Stranger Things beer. So it's got the little small tadpole guy iteration.
Very
of the
nice.
Demogorgon on the front there. I like it. Okay. So that was an aside. So there's a spaghetti western style locker shootout between Susie Crabgrass and Moe's.
Oh yeah, they do the fucking sweet shot of just their like zooming in on their eyes.
Yes.
That's like shit that we would have done back in the day.
Yes, except their like aspect ratio is nowhere near wide enough.
No, it's not. It's 3:4 or 4:3. I mean.
Yeah. So I think Moe's has a puppy thing, if I'm not wrong, going on.
I
think I saw a sign that said puppies. It looks like because
later on they've got cat stuff.
Yeah, well, they've got plush animals. Isn't this where they show that she's got the kitties? She's got a kitty themed one.
They do. During the different iterations, they keep ramping up with the cat shit for more.
They do.
For whatever reason.
Well, I think
also there are wanted photos of the weasel being put up during this whole sequence.
Yes.
I just had to throw that out there because the Western thing reminded me.
No, it's important because the rivalry between the Weasel and Gordy is a series long dynamic.
Rivalry, yeah.
He's always trying to catch it, but he's not smart and he can't.
Yeah, and it cuts to Ned trying to deal with his issue still. He comes up with the idea
because he does. So his issue, by the way, is that he does not want to be next to Toot Toot anymore.
Yeah,
because the bullies think that he's the one doing the farting.
Yeah, what were they calling him again? They had some fart nickname for him.
They did.
Oh, was it just like Fart Boy or something?
It was Fart Boy. It was Fart Boy. That's what it was.
Yeah. So he's trying to hook air fresheners on this kid's ass from like a 10-foot long pole, and it's just like a massive pole with a tiny little hook on it. But the kid ends up having like 45 air fresheners on his ass.
It's the hook that they use in stores to get clothes off the very top shelf.
Oh, is that what it is?
I mean, that's what it looks like. It's like that type of thing. But yeah, I don't know how the fuck Toot Toot didn't notice that he has 50 like evergreen air fresheners hanging off his ass.
Yeah, because it looked heavy.
Like his belt. Of them on there.
His belt was sagging.
Well, then he farts and he blasts them into pieces all onto Ned.
Yeah, they're all destroyed.
Yeah. It's a cannon. It's crazy.
And then so Cookie starts begging Ned for different tips to try to solve his issue. And so some of them are sit close to the door. You get to have a fast getaway, and you get to avoid the door jam. And it shows like a bunch of kids like piling up.
Was the tip not just like let everybody else out and then just like hang at your desk until they leave so you avoid the jam, or is it?
No, you had to sit close to the door to get out first.
Okay.
Cookie bolted out the door. Ned
I think
stayed.
I got threw off because Ned was telling that tip from like a seat in the middle of the classroom.
Yeah, Ned didn't move. Ned didn't give a fuck.
Right.
He's gonna be late and he's gonna not care.
Which good tip. Not it's pretty good. Pretty usable.
And then, the other one was turn 2 of your codes on your lock so that you only have to turn it once to be able to open it.
Right.
Which I'm gonna say is risky.
I've never done that. I've for sure never done that. I didn't remember that as being a thing.
No, I've never done that either or heard of that being done, but I guess it would work.
He calls it the classic one turn.
It seems risky to me. Like, I feel like people are going to break into that locker easier.
People are breaking into everything, I feel like, in certain middle schools.
Yeah. It definitely seems like the middle school where something like that would happen, too.
He's got full-on greasers there.
He does. Greasers that are just fucking, like, harassing people and destroying.
Yeah.
Right. And then also the last note was to do a fast walk because you're not technically running, so you're not going to get like a some sort of like hall violation for running because I guess that's illegal. So like Cookie just starts fast walking down the hallway looking like some sort of jackass.
Yeah, and apparently he gets told by Sweeney, who is the hallway speed trap, I'll say.
Yeah.
And he gets told that a fast walk equals a slow run, which I say that's bullshit.
It was funny though, because Cookie was like out of breath. He's like, he counts it as a slow run. Fucking Cookie was so devastated by it.
Cookie's always late, which kind of a stereotype, but it's fine.
I mean, I don't understand why they don't just let the man fucking like. There's got to be some sort of logic that he can use for these adults to just like let him be and try to get to his class, because the man obviously can't make it. So
I don't remember if I ran a lot around in middle school, but I feel like if I did, I wouldn't have got yelled at. But maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm off.
I mean, I don't remember there ever being
a time crunch like that.
Yeah, for one, that big of a time crunch, because I think that we had like 7 minutes between classes. And I don't remember there being any, like, teachers trying to fuck you over, you know? But I guess this is a dramatized version of real life,
It's
so.
very dramatized. It's very amped up. It's like a cartoon, really.
Yeah, it is. With how many, like, fucking stingers there are and how many insane things happen to people.
Yeah. So what is going on with the Ned arc where he's trying to find a new locker? So we find Clara Sawyer, Freacher Lawyer, who ends up being a recurring character.
Great name.
Is representing Lisa Zima. And Lisa Zima agrees that she will, under contract, switch lockers with Ned as long as she's allowed to like insert herself into their crew and I think go on a date with Cookie.
Yeah, that gets brought up by Gordy, because Gordy is
Gordy's the
Ned's
lawyer.
Representation that he brings.
Yes.
And also, he's there after he got beat the fuck up by the Weasel.
Yeah, the Weasel wrecks him every time.
Yeah, because Gordy and Ned were hanging out in his janitor closet because he was going to give him a locker in there.
It's a Tom and Jerry dynamic.
But then the Weasel came and just fucking wrecked him. So I guess that locker's off limits. Yeah. Yeah, so they do the deal with the two lawyers. And basically Ned agrees that Cookie will go on the date. Cookie didn't have too much of a say in it.
That's right. Yeah. But it's all right because Lisa Zima only has, I don't remember what he said, some small percentage of smell left in her nose.
Yeah, it was a real small percentage. It was like 25% or something like that. So she can't smell the toot toot guy. She's like, I don't care.
Everybody else can, though, so she might get blamed on those shits.
Yeah. But I mean, at least if she has a crew, I think she's fine, though.
I don't think she has a crew.
No, because her crew she just signed a contract to become a part of the crew.
Oh, but the crew's on the other edge of the universe.
That's true. That's fair. Well, no, because it's Ned's locker, not Cookie's locker, right?
That's true.
She's taking the toot locker.
Because now Ned's new locker is right next to the bully.
Yes. Yeah, and the Cookie doesn't get to move his locker. Cookie just...
The Cookie doesn't.
Cookie, he has a different plan. So the next scene is them setting up some sort of mop bucket slingshot.
That's right. Well, that's to get the gym class. That's unrelated to lockers. Well, I
no,
guess
it's locker related.
You're right.
For him,
his locker's too far away.
Yeah, that's their solution. I guess every day he's going to be using a slingshot to get to class.
Every day Gordy has to pull him back and let him go. No one else is going to be strong enough to do that except for Gordy.
Only Gordy, and you need a man's strength.
Yeah. It's also his bucket and equipment. He has to set the rig up every day.
Yeah, so the shots were dope when he was being shot in the slingshot. Because, like, it was, like, using the POV shot through his glasses, and, like, you could see the speedometer speeding up. Yeah. It was going to, like, 30 miles per hour.
He's also apparently walking, when he's walking, he's walking 8, it's measuring.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know 8 what, but it's 8.
I assumed miles per hour.
He's walking at 8 miles an hour? I guess he could be.
That's fast, though, isn't
That's really fast.
That's a fast walk.
That's insane.
Cookie's a track star, man.
He is
but yeah, what I was gonna say is in the mop bucket, he was like somehow turning it because he went around corners. So like, how is he turning the bucket? It's
like a little go-kart once it gets going.
Yeah, he's got like power steering in it.
That's pretty badass. No, yeah.
And they get past Sweeney by the Toot kid blasts him with a fart.
Yeah, they tell Toot, I guess they must tell him that Sweeney wants to see him, and then Toot's like, "You wanted to see me?" And they just knew that he would fucking fart. They were just gaming on that shit.
Either that or they befriended him and got him to like into this somehow.
And also he can fart on command.
I guess. But if he has that much control, why does he keep blasting people with it?
That's why I don't know if that's the way it went.
Sick kick.
I think that he's got no control over it, and they just knew that it would happen if they told him this scenario. And so he walks over to Sweeney, and Sweeney's like, "I don't want to fucking talk to you."
Sweeney's like, "Fuck off, kid."
My job right now is to catch people running.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd have to be preparing experiments or something. Nah. Nothing.
It's the second day of school. Well, it might be more than the second, to be fair. Time does pass. I think we see the sun rise and fall a couple times in this episode.
Yeah, this wouldn't be the second day anymore because Cookie's been late to class like a handful of times now.
It's established with him and the butch gym teacher.
Yeah, she's like doing curls.
Dirtka, I think is her name.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So then
the Moe's Susie locker war continues on. Susie's giving out free plush kittens out of a basket.
Oh, yeah, and Moe's goes for, like, an ultra fucking bright locker for some reason.
She just, like, rigs it up with a bunch of lights and mirrors.
Like LED lights and, like, gems.
It's bizarre. It blinds people. It's like the suitcase from Pulp Fiction, except for, like, 10,000 times stronger.
and a white light instead of a gold light.
It's a white light. Yeah.
I don't understand why that is the ultimate locker, though.
That's what I was saying. I was confused. I was like, what is cool about this?
I don't know. It's just kind of like, it's just kind of insane. It's just kind of an insane locker.
Yeah, it's like the work she went through. They're just like, wow, that's impressive.
Or I guess like those girls are like similar to mosquitoes to where they're just like drawn to the light.
They're drawn to the light. Or maybe they're in...
or moths,
maybe they're in stagecraft where they're like super into lights and stuff.
Oh, yeah, stagecraft, you learn about lights. Yeah, true. They didn't seem like stagecraft people, though.
Like behind-the-scenes thespians?
Yeah, understudy thespians.
Yeah. But what happens? What breaks her? Her locker gets broken.
Her locker does get broken. I forget how.
Fuck.
But it fucking breaks.
So I set a timer on that, too, because it breaks, I think, and then she shuts it. And then something that Ned and Something that Ned and Gordy does breaks the locker, I think. And then...
Classic.
Oh. And then she opens it up, and it breaks for a full 10 seconds. Shit's just falling out of her locker for 10 seconds, and she's looking at it in horror.
You can tell, like, someone is on the other side of the locker, like, pushing the stuff out. Because, like, it comes in waves.
Yeah. It's hilarious, though, because of the time. It's good timing.
Yeah, it is. It was really good. Also, when Cookie gets to the gym, he gets absolutely fucking riddled by the dodgeballs. I forgot to mention that.
As soon as he gets in just on time, and she's like, "Oh, you're on time. Pull," and then they like.
Yeah, she's like, "You're on time for dodgeball, bitch," and then everybody just for some reason destroys him.
Yeah,
I guess everybody hates Cookie.
Yeah, is it true
he's notoriously hated?
Well, he's a cyborg. He's not our kind.
No one trusts him.
Yeah. They think he's going to take over the world.
He just might.
He's completely dependent on Ned's tips, though. He's not going to do anything.
He really is.
He's not going to do anything without Ned saying him. He's
Which is weird because he has the computer at his fingertips.
He has the power.
The man can see data through his eyes. So you'd think he'd be able to come up with his own tips and learn, from the errors.
Like the Terminator. He can learn and conquer. But whatever.
He should be able to.
I think he learns throughout the series, like they all do.
I don't think he does. I think
he might be the most one-dimensional character throughout the whole thing.
Doesn't he just continuously come to Ned for tips and that's all he does?
He's always fairly bumbling. Yeah.
Which is weird because he's like the smart one.
We assume he's the smart one. We're told he's the smart one. He seems like the smart one because of the way he dresses and looks.
Yeah, but at the same time, he can't... I guess he's book smart, not street smart, and Ned is all street smart.
Ned is like a fox or something. He's like a trickster.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a small little man.
Man, we gotta get Devin on the podcast sometime. That's his name, right? The actor's name?
Yeah, Devin Workheiser, aka Devin Works Harder.
Is that what his Instagram handle is?
I believe so, yeah. He goes to Burning Man.
Yeah. That's dope. Gotta get him on the cast.
Yes. So Ned breaks Mose's locker. Mose builds a new locker out of wood because she's really taken to wood shop. She loves it. Yeah. And that's I don't know if we addressed that yet because she's deep in wood shop with the shop teacher. Yeah,
Mr. fucking Buzzsaw? What is his name?
That's a good question. I don't remember what his name is.
Mr. Chopsaw.
Mr. Chopsaw. Is that his real name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's his name on the IMDb credits.
No, I mean, like, I'm just saying, it's probably true.
Shout out Dave Florek.
Yeah, he's a good character.
He doesn't have a picture on IMDb.
Wow.
Fuck.
He must not be in much else.
I don't know. But yeah, she makes a sweet wooden door for her locker. It's pretty cool.
She's apparently
the only girl.
It doesn't look
that well done.
She's apparently the only girl in shop class.
Yeah. Even though, like, right afterwards, there's a bunch of girls that come up and they're like, "Oh, you also like wooden lockers?"
So that's...
And they're like, they fucking love it.
Yeah. So is there like a wooden locker scene?
I guess there's like some sort of society. Some sort of underground society.
You'd think that you'd have to get an okay from the school before you rip out the metal locker door and replace it with your own crafted wooden door.
Anything goes. As long as you don't get caught by Mr. Sweeney, anything goes at this school.
Seems like a dope school.
It seems like a pretty insane one. My last note is that Billy smashes his head on the locker.
Yeah.
So Ned's new locker is right next to the bully, like you were saying, and Billy just fucking destroys his head on it. I don't know why.
It's to get high. He gets a rush from that.
But like usually they would use that to open the locker, but he opened his locker, closed it, and then just smashed his head on it 3 times.
Yeah, he's like locker buddies, man.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I think he calls him Fart Boy again.
He is. Looks like I'm next to you now, Fart Boy. He's gonna find out real quick that Ned is not Fart Boy because he's not gonna be smelling farts all day long.
Yeah, true. I can't imagine that. I don't think he ever calls him that again. I don't remember that being a thing in the show. So,
no, I don't think so. They fuck with him in other ways. It's fine.
But that's about it for that episode.
Yeah, I don't have much else.
So I guess I'll rate it this time first since you did it first last time. I'll give this one 6.5. I think it was similar in vein. I like this one a little bit more, though, I think, than the first day one.
Okay. You see, I think
Weasels.
This one does have the weasel in it. And so...
Yeah, and Gordy.
I'm actually going to give this one 6 weasels. So
you're going lower.
We swapped.
We did.
Yeah, I don't know.
But super similar ratings.
Yeah, very similar. I think I like the other one a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were both decent. They're both solid first pilot eps. Because I guess you'd probably consider the full thing the pilot, so it was a solid pilot.
It is listed as one video file on Amazon Prime Video.
And on IMDb it's listed as one episode.
Yeah. So that's the format they went with, is 2 minisodes per slot.
Which is interesting.
It's like a cartoon, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for the pod. Do you have anything else, Kirk?
No, that pretty much addresses all of my things that I had to say regarding this.
Yeah, so thanks for listening, guys. We have been the Ned's Declassified podcast.
That's right.
I've been Jacob.
I've been Kirk.
And go watch some Ned's Declassified.